for a look at the roadways, Edens is clear on the inbound side of the Kennedy, clear as well. On the outbound side, just a small delay between Montrose and Harlem. Inbound on the Eisenhower is clear. On the outbound side, there's a delay between Laramie Avenue and Harlem Avenue. On the off-ramp to Austin Boulevard, there's a small crash, so be on the lookout for that. On the inbound side of the Stevenson, clear. On the outbound side, a small delay between Pulaski and Cicero. Lakeshore Drive to Cicero, 11 minutes. To the Tri-State, 25. To I-355, 35 minutes. It's 64 degrees with mostly cloudy skies. Next update in 15 minutes on AM560 The Answer.
If you're looking for a better shooting experience, imagine shooting virtually all your firearms the same day. You can move and shoot steel, draw from the holster, or compete in a 3-gun match. You can exercise that rifle out to 600 yards, even engage in a very challenging sporting clays course or a round of trap or skeet. Do all that and much more at the Aurora Sportsman's Club. Whether you're a novice looking for a basic course or an experienced shooter looking for an advanced course, even if you want to participate in your favorite shooting event such as IDPA or cowboy action shooting, spend an enjoyable day with the family at the Aurora Sportsman's Club, the only shooting facility in the region that offers all of that and more. If that sounds interesting, don't miss the next orientation and a tour of the Aurora Sportsman's Club in Waterman, Illinois. Call the membership department at 815-264-9000 extension 44 for information. That's 815-264-9000 extension 44 to join a one-of-a-kind shooting facility. The Aurora Sportsman's Club.
There's no better way to bring in customers than with postcards and flyers. You can say a little or say a lot. And these days, if you're looking for the best selection and the best value, the best choice is to go online and do it yourself at Vistaprint.com. In fact, right now at Vistaprint.com, you can get 500 postcards starting at just $24.99. That's right, 500 postcards, $24.99. At Vistaprint.com, you'll find all the right sizes and finishes and an expanded range of paper stocks, so you can go basic or go brilliant. And you can do it all quickly and confidently with easy uploads, quick design tools, complimentary design support, and an absolute guarantee that we stand by everything we sell every time for any reason, or we'll make it right. So make the smart choice, get the best value, visit Vistaprint.com today, and be sure to enter promo code MARKETING so you can get your 500 postcards starting at just $24.99. But hurry, because while this deal is here today, it expires September 30th. So go to Vistaprint.com today and enter promo code MARKETING.
You never want a serious crisis to go to waste.
If I could have gotten 51 votes in the Senate of the United States for an outright ban, picking up every one of them, Mr. and Mrs. America, turn them all in, I would have done it.
I have 2 words for you: predator drones. You will never see it coming.
It's time for On Target Radio, Chicagoland's only radio show dedicated to the red meat issues that affect your life, from gun control to freedom of speech. Now, debating, debunking, and discussing today's hot issues. Here are your hosts, David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz.
Welcome to On Target Radio. Tonight, David and Gretchen's guests will be Ed Ronkowski, chairman of the Will County Republican Party, discussing the power of the armed citizen, the president's latest attempt to change the rules and to favor liberals, how to defund Planned Parenthood, and good news about fatal firearm accident rate. And be sure to catch this week's segment 6 right after the show. We'll be discussing the president's initiative to surreptitiously conduct behavioral experiments on the American public. All that and more on tonight's On Target Radio. So be sure to give us a call at 312-642-5600 or go to Facebook and like our page, On Target Radio, and ask a question there.
And now, from the seething cauldron of personal opinion, it's time for David's Rant of the Week.
Evil has been unleashed abroad and at home. ISIS has publicly declared, "We will drown all of you in blood." And as they hammer their point from outside the country, radical blacks hammer a similar threat from within. The execution of Deputy Darren Goforth of the Harris County Sheriff's Department in Texas came just days after black radicals on an internet radio show called for the lynching of white people and the killing of cops to turn the tide. Louis Farrakhan, citing the Quran, called for 10,000 to rise up and kill those who kill us, referring to law enforcement specifically and white people in general. Liberals say there's no war going on and we're just paranoid. They point out that law enforcement officers killed in the line of duty are down this year from last year. 84 to 82. It's true, but regardless, there's still a war on cops taking place. Today, we're on the front wave of cops being hunted and assassinated. In Illinois so far in 2015, 87 cops have been killed in the line of duty, of which 26 were attributed to gunfire, 9 since August 1st. The bad guys are hammering home their point, but what they don't understand is the point they're hammering home is the rules of engagement. Now that I know, that's fine. I'm reminded of a quote from George Orwell. In real life, it is always the anvil that breaks the hammer. My friends, I'm here to tell you, I'm the anvil. Me and countless millions of others like me. JustFacts.com, an independent research organization, estimates that about 80 million adults own firearms. Equally important is a significant percentage of gun owners are current or prior military or law enforcement. Now, let's say, for the sake of argument, that only half of America's gun owners are prepared to engage our enemies. That makes us 40 million strong. Let me put that in perspective. The United States military, both active duty and reserve, have about 2.1 million personnel. We're 20 times larger than our own military. Russia has 3.1 million, Syria about 300,000, Iraq has about 270,000, and ISIS possibly has as many as 100,000 combatants, making the odds 400 to 1 against them. I can say without reservation that many thousands of people across the country are practicing their gun handling skills on a regular basis. I can also tell you that people who legally own firearms, for the most part, bleed red, white, and blue. They love this country. They're strongly pro-law enforcement, and to be quite honest, they're itching for a fight. We're Americans. It's in our blood. The notion of protecting one another from tyranny and evil. We're scrappers at heart, and when the chips are down, we're tough and we're resourceful. Americans have access to the finest firearms, gear, and training in the world. AR-15 sniper rifles, 50 BMGs, night vision and thermal imaging equipment, sophisticated radio and electronic surveillance gear, thousands of rounds of ammunition we've reloaded ourselves, four-wheel drive vehicles, and training provided by the best of the best. We have prior spec ops and SWAT team leaders, MDs and paramedics with advanced medical trauma gear, body armor, satellite phones, GPS tracking devices, corporate jets and helicopters, and a lot more. This isn't some third world country where unarmed, uneducated, untrained people huddle in their huts living in fear of a bunch of loonies. Armed American civilians constitute the biggest, best equipped fighting force in the world. And here's the best part. Many of us look like a bunch of old guys in the theater watching a Clint Eastwood movie. The point is this. The next time a couple of you ISIS jerks jump out of a car with AK-47s, some old guy drinking iced tea at the sidewalk cafe will drop you from behind like a box of rocks with his concealed carry Kimber 45. And the next time one of you scumbags tries to sneak up on some unsuspecting cop pumping gas, I'll be the old guy at the pump on the next island that you didn't worry about. And I will introduce you to Mr. Glock, because in the end, the anvil always wins. And that, Gretchen, is my rant for the week.
And I will introduce them to Baby Glock.
There you go. Daddy Glock and Baby Glock are waiting.
Very good rant, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah, with 5.2% of the American population with carry concealed licenses, that means 1 in 20 people out there could be packing.
Exactly. And they look like us. Most of them look like us. And
well, they could profile us, old white men.
True enough. True enough.
I often say in concealed carry class, one of the blessings of being a woman is that absolutely no one is looking at me going, I bet she's got a gun.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. That may change in time. Well, probably not, because in states that have had concealed carry all along, people pretty much still feel the same way.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think that women just are not expected to,
be killers.
To have that, have that desire instinct.
We got George in Chicago talking about IEDs. George, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm fine, thank you. I read with interest about this kid from Texas,
right?
14-year-old, black, and And there's so much consternation about what the police did, and now the president's going to have them at the White House. And I've got a problem with that because an IED is an improvised explosive device, and that was an ID, an improvised device. The only thing that was missing was the explosive. The kid's 14. He's got the age of reason. He knows what's going on in the world. He did that to make people uncomfortable. And to invite him to the White House is just such a travesty of justice.
George, let me tell you something. You may have read what I read, but you're spot on. My initial reaction to that, and we talked about it a little bit last week, we mentioned it, was, this is getting out of control. But since then, interesting information has come out. The engineering teacher that he showed that to said, do not take that around to other classes.
Right.
Specifically.
Right.
Don't do that.
Right.
And then when he was asked, he was he could have easily said, ask the engineering teacher. He knows.
Mm-hmm.
He never said that.
Right.
And then when the cop showed up, which rightfully, given that set of circumstances, should
Mm-hmm.
have,
right.
He ducked and evaded and all that. But when the press showed up,
right,
suddenly he became more lucid in his ability to explain.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's just it's such a, and for this president to be so naive and so to create so much divisiveness in our country over such a petty issue. Well, this little punk Muslim wants to make people uncomfortable in the school.
You're right.
And I don't care about Muslim, Christian, Buddhist. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying he knew what he was doing.
You know that his father basically was an agitator too. I don't know. Did you know this, Gretchen?
I didn't know that part.
I did see something about the dad. Yeah.
His father, I forget what country they're from, but his father's very outspoken and the same issues. He goes back to his homeland, keeps running for president there. They keep exiling him. This is it.
Here we go with this president again.
Right. Yeah. It wasn't as simple as it was first put out. The story changed over the course of the week. You're listening to On Target Radio. This is AM560 The Answer. Give us a call, 312-642-5600.
We have a comment on Facebook. Larry says, how is it that Louis Farrakhan has not been arrested for what he says? If he were a white Christian, they would have already been doing time by now.
Ed, how
First
is that?
Amendment. First Amendment allows that kind of language.
So you can, well, wait, then where does sedition and all that come into play? If he's saying you should go out and kill white people, he's inciting.
Well, if he's specifically identifying a target and asking somebody to murder him, that's a crime. That's solicitation of murder. If he's making a political statement, a metaphor like that, that's protected. There's a U.S. Supreme Court decision right on point.
How metaphorical is go out and kill white people and police officers?
They had a woman dispatcher, I think she was in the police department, and she had said about the president, Johnson, I believe it was, that we just ought to off him. And the U.S. Supreme Court reversed the conviction and said that's political speech.
All right, we're gonna talk more about that. We're gonna keep this subject going when we come back after a few messages. But you're listening to On Target Radio, and this is AM560 The Answer.
How can you get from here to there? We've got the answer from the ChicagoRadioDeals.com Traffic Center.
Taking a look at traffic. No delays on either side of the Edens Kennedy inbound, just 20 from O'Hare to downtown. Outbound a little bit of a pocket at Central, and that goes out into Harlem. It's a 22-minute trip total out to the airport, wide open in the express lanes at 8 minutes. The 190 O'Hare extension is clear as well. Ike is not slowing through that left lane. Roadwork inbound Ashland to the Circle, though that lane should be closed until tomorrow morning. Outbound is a clear 29 as well. The Stevenson, Ryan, I-57, and the Bishop Ford all moving at posted speeds. Lakeshore Drive delay free.
Right. He's making a political metaphor.
So I'm making a political metaphor when I say we should all go out and kill Jews.
Oh, I thought you said that you're going to go out and kill Jews.
Oh, no. I say on the radio, I say to everybody, I'm fed up with this. This is crazy. Let's go out and kill black people. We're all going to go out and kill black people.
We're not really. Your conviction would be reversed by the U.S. Supreme Court.
And how long would I be in jail?
Very well said.
Donald Trump and his record of calling for gun bans and gun control. Well, that's sort of true. Phone call and
I told him I would put it up and we could see if you took
well,
it.
let's say we're talking about we're going to carry guns. I guess that's
Yeah, that's why. Otherwise, I would have been like, we're not really talking about Donald Trump. Unless somebody makes a really salient point, then I'm like, yeah.
Was he lucid and on track?
Yes.
Sober? Sober. We never care about sober.
Yeah.
That rules me out.
Sober's not a real big issue.
Yeah. Mom can't call.
She's not sober
And
anymore.
she's listening to you right now.
Oh, I know.
She was so quiet last night.
Yeah. She said you were trying to engage her in conversation. She's like, I suck so much. I'm not good at that.
Your mother said that?
I'm just trying to be sociable instead of sitting there staring at the wall.
No, I know. And she understood that. She understood that.
Okay.
She's just, I don't know why, but she wasn't.
Well, I should have asked her about her favorite subject.
I don't know
Tell us
why
her
she
secrets.
wasn't able to keep up her end of the conversation because she's a talker. I mean, it's not that she's not a talker.
Oh, yeah. That's it. Well, she probably is smart to clam up around the prosecutor. I had a woman victim when the judge found the defendant not guilty on a bench trial. Said that she was so mad she ought to off the judge.
Oh, no.
So I have an ethical obligation to warn the judge, and he asked me to repeat it. Get the deputy in here. Deputy, go out and arrest the woman, bring her back in here for contempt. The black partner was really upset that I had the black victim. What happened? So he backdoored the judge, and the judge says, just drop the charges.
800-743. 800-711-5743. 800-711-5743. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
You're listening to On Target Radio on AM560 The Answer with David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz. Here's David and Gretchen with more interesting conversation on gun control, concealed carry, freedom of speech, and other red meat issues that affect your life.
And we're back with more On Target Radio. We're talking this evening with Ed Ronkowski, who's the chairman of the Will County Republican Committee, and we're kind of skipping along the subject of armed civilians and shooting cops and all that kind of bad stuff. And we got a call from Mark from Tinley Park, who has a thought about Trump's take on this. Mark, how are you doing this evening?
Hi, David, Gretchen. I'm a little concerned here that everybody seems to be, including an awful lot of Second Amendment people, seem to be lining up behind Donald Trump. I'm a little concerned about that. I've heard more than a few times that Donald Trump in the past has called for things like assault weapons bans. He has no voting record where he's had to put his money where his mouth or his vote where his mouth is to show that he's pro-Second Amendment. He's never been a governor or anything where he's had to veto anti-Second Amendment bills or push to get a Second Amendment bill on his desk and sign it. And yet we've got lots of other candidates that have.
I'll tell you what it is, Mark. Again, you listen to the show often?
Oh, yes.
So
yes.
You've heard me say it. I've said this now 3 or 4 weeks in a row. I can't believe that I would ever be sticking up for Donald Trump. But here's what I think it is, because I do. I say I like Donald Trump. He's an obnoxious jerk. There's no doubt about that. He's also bizarrely wealthy. The last thing he needs is to be president of the United States. That's going to be a step down for him to be president of the United States. But what's happening is he is saying things that I think a lot of conservatives have wished anybody would say in the past 8 years. Even other Republicans don't say it.
Yeah, but Dave, the problem is that he's saying things trying to get elected, and that's not what he really believes. If you want to look at what a candidate really believes, look at what he's championed in the past before he decided to run for office.
And here's the thing. I'm not so sure. I'm not really, and you've heard me say this, question. I'm not so sure that I expect him to run for president. I don't think that'll happen.
I actually believe that he's just trying to stir up trouble, and he's trying to make it so that the other conservative, I shouldn't say conservative, the Republican candidates have to answer those questions about illegal immigration, because it's true. And I agree with Mark. Not only has he not ever proven himself to be pro-Second Amendment, he's never proven himself to be pro-life or pro-Christianity or anything else that we stand
Other
for.
than pro-make money, which he's successful at.
Right. And I think that if he wants to come out against illegal immigration, he has to run as a Republican. I mean, he can't run as a Democrat. I mean, he could run as an independent, but that's really his primary option. If he wants to push, illegal immigration issues, he's got to run as a Republican. And so, and he wants the Republicans to have to answer those questions. But yeah, I agree. There's really no proof that he actually is a Republican.
David, he has from time to time cited that Ronald Reagan changed his mind on some issues.
Yeah, I've heard that.
A few issues. Donald Trump here is suddenly doing 180s on like half the issues in the campaign.
Here's the thing that I don't have an answer to what I'm going to say, but here's the thing. I just look over my life, and there have been, I was a different person 20 years ago than I was 10 years ago than I am today. I mean, people factor things in. I don't know. Obviously I don't have an answer. I've never talked to the guy, but I do know the one thing is, whether he's bluffing or lying or whatever, the one thing that's absolutely for sure is he's saying stuff that a lot of people, particularly with this president, have been wanting to hear for 8 years. And he's resonating. Now, I don't think he'll last. He's already, I just read today or yesterday, he's already at number 2. I think he'll tank. I think he's going to tank. But
no, it's I think it's in New Hampshire. Carly Fiorina passed him up.
Yeah, I just looked at it. George, here's the funny thing about George. See, here, our engineer has all these really intricate hand signals through 2 panes of glass, and we have absolutely no idea what they mean. 4 sounds like, is it an inanimate object?
There's 4 panes of glass because each window has 2 panes.
See, and then he comes up with...
And that was relevant.
Exactly. He comes up with absolute truisms that have no bearing whatsoever on the conversation. So I don't know. Anyway, you're listening on Target Radio. This is AM560 The Answer. Give us a call, 312-642-5600. We got a good conversation going here. We have John from Crete. John, how you doing this evening?
Oh, good. How are you?
I'm doing okay, John. Go ahead.
Thank you. You did me a tremendous favor by numerically mentioning the people who have guns in this country and are able to defend them. But then also on the same vein, I think we should watch the police. There was a case at some gas station where a policeman showed up, and some young man, he was on television, that he walked up to the policeman voluntarily to be on his side. So that was good. But then also I want to talk about Karl Rove. He said, don't be concerned if some of the politicians are low in the ratings. He said, look at Mitt Romney. He was low and he ran. He lost the election. And then they said Rubio has risen. But he said he comes from Cuba and he's glad he talks Spanish. But he's muddying the water. There are 12 million from Mexico, so that was not good what Rubio did.
Well, it's interesting observation, John. And that is interesting about Rubio, because it may be the one possibility that the Republican Party can get some Hispanic vote.
Well, there's Rubio, there's Bush, who is well liked in the Hispanic community, it seems, and Cruz, and Ted Cruz, who is also from Cuba.
But Bush should be liberal.
Well, he is, yes. Rubio and Cruz are equal on that. So,
hey, John, who's your favorite?
Wait, I have one more comment.
Who's your favorite candidate for president?
This false thing. Last election, 72% of the Mexicans voted for the worst president, Obama. So, and then someone said that the Spanish vote really, will not be a decisive thing. No, I think Romney is good because he he said the number one issue is protecting the borders, and two, as far as inside our country, he used to be pro-abortion, but he's pro-life. So at this time, I think he's a best candidate. What do you think about that?
All right, John, thanks for the call. It's a good point.
Yeah.
It is a good point. There's no doubt about it. And, you know, I'm sitting here just processing this, and it occurs to me, Donald Trump is nobody's fool.
No.
I mean, he's a very smart guy. He's very shrewd. He's a good businessman. Maybe it could potentially just be a big setup. Potentially. He's got the ability.
Set up for what?
Just a big ploy to just mess up the system and divide the vote sufficiently so that whoever the Democrat, if it's Hilda Beast or whoever it is, gets elected for sure.
What do you think? He's trying to write a book or something?
No,
The Manchurian Candidate?
I don't think there's any hypnosis or brainwashing, but well, maybe there is. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I don't know. You know, he's known as a ruthless businessman.
Yeah.
I mean, that's obviously well known.
Well, that's almost being redundant.
Yeah, well, exactly. I don't know. I don't know what to think about the guy. I just fall back on the one thing, and that is he is saying what I certainly have wanted to hear, and I think a lot of conservatives want to hear.
He's hitting a nerve.
Yeah.
Is you know what he's good at.
You know, all these candidates, they do polling, they do focus groups, and their handlers tell them what they have to say to get elected. And as soon as they get elected, they go back to their games that they were doing before. Right. You got to look at what they voted for in the past, the causes, what they championed in the past. Ronald Reagan had 8 years of conservative government as governor of the largest state in the Union, and that's California, the land of fruits and nuts. He had a good record to run on. Trump doesn't have a record. He's an unknown quality. He'll go back to his old ways and his philandering if he got elected.
Oh, yes, and philandering in office has never happened in this country.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
that would be the first time.
I don't know. We're coming up on another break. We'll keep this going because it is kind of interesting.
Oh, I want to talk about the election laws.
Well, and I was just going to say, we'll keep this sort of subject going, but we do want to get to the election because it's another ploy on behalf of El Presidente to get his way, but he didn't get his way in this one.
No, he did not.
So yeah, it's worth talking about right there. So we're going to talk about specifically when we come back, we're going to talk about how Obama has tried to change some of the election laws and actually got it stuck to him by the court. All that and more when we come back with more on Target Radio, and you're listening to AM560 The Answer.
You know, FYI.
You're bringing this one,
yes,
right? See, I remembered that.
You remembered that this time. I was going to wait to see you again.
And did you notice
here's my elaborate signals. When I do this, that means I'm hanging up the call.
Why don't you just click
yeah,
the signs?
I was telling him to hang up on that guy because he just kept kept interjecting. I'm like,
well, he left a giant space for him, so I brought him back in. I had already.
So you can type it in.
You never looked at that.
Well, but here's what we'll do. Instead of all the gyration shit, from now on, if you just go, that's the only option.
Okay, so just a point down.
Yeah, and
dropping
then I'll look at this screen right there.
Oh, look at this. Okay.
You know,
that I'll get.
California
would make a good cereal. Fruit plates and nuts.
There's very standard hand motions.
California is not the biggest state. Alaska is the biggest state, followed by Texas.
I was talking about population.
You didn't say that. You said biggest.
That's what most people discern it as.
No, in this room, that's what you discern it as. But the fact, the joke in Alaska has always been, whenever Texas would whine about something, they'd say, "Shut up, or we'll divide in half, and you'll be the third biggest state."
And Texas' response is, when the ice melts, Texas will be the biggest state.
It's no global warming.
I'll tell you exactly what Trump is. Trump got in expecting nothing. Trump got in to put himself out there. You're fired. Stunted around a little bit. Wanted to be heard.
Yeah.
He wanted to be heard. He wanted to promote himself because that's what he does.
And
he didn't expect to be in first. And you're seeing now that he doesn't know what to do when he's in first.
Well,
with that debate, you can see he doesn't know how to be ahead in this race.
He doesn't know how to be that guy.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is why he's going to.
I don't honestly think
Right,
that he could ever get elected.
I think he'll drop out. I don't think, like you said, I don't think we ever intended to go all the way.
You know what?
I think
What's going to happen is somebody will emerge and they'll say to him, if you drop out, we'll make you Secretary of State or something. He'll turn it down. Because why would he want it? Right. Why would he? I don't even understand why he even wants president. Because he now is so rich.
I don't think he does.
I don't think he does.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I
But
think
I
he's
do
trying to
think
cause
that he's
problems.
stoking the fire.
Yeah.
You see it as causing a problem. I think I see it more as he's saying stuff that needs to be done.
No,
we gotta close it.
I mean a problem for the other candidates. I don't mean a problem like
yeah,
a problem.
Yeah,
I think it's a problem for the process.
He's giving him a cattle prod in the ass.
Right,
It would not be a problem for the process if every single one of the other candidates was a Washington
Inside.
sort of crutch. Yeah. But they're not. So.
No, but you know.
Although we haven't had a James Trafficant quality hairdo in Washington in quite a while.
He's 70 years old.
Yeah.
70?
Really? He's the second oldest candidate out
I did not know that. He doesn't
Who's
look
older
like
than him?
The age difference is huge.
I was thinking Republican.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed it was that old.
USA. Or call 877-954-3030. That's 877-954-3030. Safer USA. Choosing to own a firearm is your business. Teaching you to own it responsibly is ours.
For over 100 years, the Illinois State Rifle Association has supported the rights and freedoms of Illinois citizens to keep and bear arms. For over 100 years, the ISRA has supported the use of firearms as a sport for personal protection and as a fundamental aspect of national defense. For over 100 years, the Illinois State Rifle Association has been supporting you. Don't you think it's time you supported them? ISRA.org or 815-635-3198. The Illinois State Rifle Association, supporting you.
Kitchen need a makeover? Tired of your outdated bathroom? Did a big box store raise more questions than answers? The answer is Stone City. 2 million square feet of marble and granite countertops in 50 colors starting at $26 a square foot installed. Plus the latest appliances, cabinetry, faucets, and fixtures. Stone City designers transform your dream into reality. Stone City, 3053 West Grand in Chicago, or call 773-533-9806. That's 773-533-9806. Stone City, it's your home, only better.
You know, I'm not a genius about money. I love my credit cards, and they love me. I was using them as a source of income, and then I got behind in my payments, and creditors were calling. I figured I had a problem, and I didn't know how to deal with it. I heard about Trinity, so I called and talked to a counselor. In half an hour, we worked out a plan. Now I've got one easy monthly payment, a lower interest rate, and I'm getting out of debt.
If you're in an endless cycle of paying on credit card balances that never seem to go away, then get ready for a toll-free number that will put you on a path to financial recovery. Trinity will consolidate your accounts, put a stop to late fees and over-limit charges, reduce your interest, and possibly improve your credit score. You'll save thousands. If your debt has you down, we should talk. Call 1-800-758-5360. That's 1-800-758-5360. Call 1-800-758-5360.
You're listening to On Target Radio on AM560 The Answer with David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz. Here's David and Gretchen with more interesting conversation on gun control, concealed carry, freedom of speech, and other red meat issues that affect your life.
And we're back with more On Target Radio. Hi, I'm Rick Zizek, the Advertising Sales Director for the On Target Media Group. If you own a small business and need more exposure to potential customers, and what small business doesn't, we can help. For over 3 years, the On Target Media Group has been helping small businesses grow. We offer many different and affordable marketing packages through our partnership program. Plus, we can even create a custom program tailored to your business's needs. To find out more, contact me today at sales.ontargetradio@gmail.com or visit our website at otmediagroup.net/sponsorship. Look forward to helping your business reach its target.
And we're back with On Target Radio. You're listening to AM560 The Answer. Give us a call at 312-642-5600. We're talking about the candidates that are on the Republican side that are running, and one of the things that we were looking at in the pre-show briefing that's a little bit troublesome, although it's hardly a surprise, is our president is again trying to get his fingers into the electoral process We had this discussion in the pre-show, and I still rail at this. They want to have it so you can not live in where you're voting. You cannot live there and don't need any identification. And you can literally walk in the first date and vote.
That's because there's some people out there that'll take advantage of these lax rules and vote illegally or vote more than once. We had this last election in Will County where the one candidate had won by 200 and some votes. And then they started counting the same day registrations. They had 7 voters who voted with the address from the county clerk's office. One gave the name Jesse James. They went around checking. The winning candidate was checking on all these ghost voters, and the one guy says, "My son couldn't have voted in person. He's in Japan. He didn't come home." And you just don't have time in that 2-week period to research all these voters, and a lot of people snuck in and voted illegally, and they switched the election results.
See, it's pure nonsense to say. In fact, it's actually, I'd say it's racist to say that blacks shouldn't be required. They don't say black specifically, they go anybody, shouldn't be required to show identification because a lot of black people don't have identification. You can't do anything in this country without.
That's racial microaggression.
That's a tag back to last week.
Yeah.
But it is. But you know what it is? Because it truly is. Because if they want to go and buy alcohol and they look young, got to have ID.
Right.
If you want to take a flight somewhere, got to have ID. Want to cash a check, got to have ID. You got to have ID for everything.
Right. I think it's funny. This article from the Daily Signal says that that the Justice Department basically argued that black voters are less sophisticated voters, and that they're basically insisting that blacks are incapable of performing basic societal functions.
That is literally what it is.
If that's not racist, I don't know what is racist.
Yeah, well, the federal judge shut them down and upheld North Carolina's new voting restrictions.
But it's the shamelessness that they would do that. And what I don't get is blacks will continue to vote for these people when they're literally making racist comments about them.
Yes.
That makes no sense to me at all. And then they blame us.
It's like it's okay for them to be racist against black people.
Well, you know how you can tell when a lawyer's lying in court.
His lips are moving.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Where's that sound effect?
So this is the argument the administration pushed in North Carolina. If a change in election rules might statistically affect blacks more than whites, it constitutes illegal discrimination. So they give this example. If 98% of whites have a voter ID, but only 97.5% of blacks have one, well, then it's racist. Can't have it.
Right.
Well, the judge didn't agree with him, so that makes no difference.
Well, it's a good thing. But they tried. I mean, and that's really what we're talking about here is the travesty of the fact that they even tried.
Well, actually, Obama's won some of these lawsuits in some of these states.
He has,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
This just happened to be one win in our column.
And what you may not realize, Dave, I'm sure Ed is up on this, but what you may not realize is that the Illinois legislature recently, like last fall, I believe, or last spring, passed legislation that we have to offer same-day registration in every polling place.
And our Will County clerk says that's going to cost her $1.3 million of unfunded mandate, something that's not in her county board budget.
And that's just the first year. It's going to cost over $1 million.
I just want to point out that by saying that to me, that was racist.
Yes, it was.
It was.
I'm racist against you because you're a Dago.
No, I'm an oik. I'm an oik.
An oik?
An olive Italian Catholic. Yeah. That was.
I thought you said oink.
And that too.
He used to be that.
And that too. No, I am aware of that. And this is this whole thing about political correctness and all of this bending over backward to do stuff for people. You're hit it on the head. Those are racist statements.
It is.
Oh, they're not smart enough to do it. They can't do this. They can't. That's nonsense.
They can't plan ahead and register.
That's right. And we're going to be back with more On Target Radio after we take a little break here. And you're listening to AM560, The Answer.
get from here. Answer from the ChicagoRadioDeals.com Traffic Center.
Taking a look at your roads over in Mount Prospect, a rollover crash has crews on the scene at Elmhurst and Gulf Road. And continuing construction on the CTA Brown Line has you operating in the Red Line subway tunnel between Fullerton and Roosevelt. That should be all done by tomorrow morning. But in the meantime, they are operating shuttle buses on the Brown Line normal route. In addition, the CTA Blue Line single tracking between Racine and Jackson for construction of that Halstead overpass. Downtown bridge work has a Wells Street Bridge over the river closed until midnight. And the expressways and tollways are all delay and problem-free at this time, and no headaches right now through northwest Indiana. Your Chicago weather, 64 with a couple clouds. Tonight, clear with a low around 55, and tomorrow going to see some sun, a high of 71. Next update in 15 minutes on AM560 The Answer.
If you're looking for a better shooting experience, imagine shooting virtually all your firearms the same day. You can move and shoot steel, draw from the holster, or compete in a 3-gun match. You can exercise that rifle out to 600 yards, even engage in a very challenging sporting clays course or a round of trap or skeet. Do all that and much more at the Aurora Sportsman's Club. Whether you're a novice looking for a basic course or an experienced shooter looking for an advanced course, even if you want to participate in your favorite shooting event such as IDPA or cowboy action shooting, spend an enjoyable day with the family at the Aurora Sportsman's Club, the only shooting facility in the region that offers all of that and more. If that sounds interesting, don't miss the next orientation and a tour of the Aurora Sportsman's Club in Waterman, Illinois. Call the membership department at 815-264-9000 extension 44 for information. That's 815-264-9000 extension 44 to join a one-of-a-kind shooting facility. The Aurora Sportsman's Club.
Past performance is no guarantee of future results. Stock trading involves risk. Visit Zacks.com/performance for more information.
Would you like your investments to make more than 20% a year? Well, since 1988, through good times and bad, our Zacks #1 ranked strong buy stocks have generated an average annual return of 26% a year. That's nearly 3 times the S&P 500. And now, in our new book, we're revealing how we pick the stocks that consistently beat the market. And if you're one of the first 250 callers, we'll send you a copy of this book for free. Elite investors pay millions of dollars per year to access our stock picks. Our book will show you how we pick our stocks for free. Don't settle for average market returns when you can make Zacks returns. Call now for your free book and discover our proven way to consistently beat the market. Find out how to get your free book at 1-800-600-1932. That's 1-800-600-1932. 1-800-600-1932.
You're listening to On Target Radio on AM560 The Answer with David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz. Here's David and Gretchen with interesting conversation, gun control, concealed carry, freedom of speech, and other red meat issues that affect your life.
And we're back with more On Target Radio. Give us a call, 312-650-5600. So there's good news in the firearm accident business. And the good news is we are having fewer and fewer fatal firearm accidents.
For the last 50 years, it's been going down.
It's been steadily going down. And
yeah, dropping precipitously, I would say.
that's the good turn of phrase, dropping precipitously. Yes.
Easy for you to say.
It's easy for me to say. Liberals love to talk about how dangerous it. In fact, what you hear more often than not is more people are killed accidentally with a firearm in their home than than they ever do you any good. And that's nonsense. It's just not true.
Right.
Of course, there's a real shocker that a liberal would say something that wasn't true.
Mm-hmm.
And they're attributing it to a bunch of things. Training, for one. That's one issue, obviously. Firearms are also made better.
Right. They're saying another reason is, like, it used to be that guns were made to, like, if you dropped a gun on the floor
Right.
by accident, it might go off. And that hardly ever happens anymore. I've actually dropped my Glock a number of times.
Loaded.
That I find actually frightening, but we'll go on that road at a different time. But you're
just
right.
happens.
And old timers, and I mean people in my age category, you hear that all the time.
And
You
older,
hear this,
yeah.
oh, I carry a revolver, but I always keep it on an empty one. Why?
Yeah.
Because, wow, it's dangerous. No, it's not.
It's a 12-pound trigger pull. What's going to happen?
Well, yeah, but they're talking about the hammer hitting and then hitting the firing pin. I go, in a modern revolver, that doesn't happen.
Right.
And, they're locked in. That's
Unless they're carrying cowboy guns or something.
Oh, well, and some of them are that old. Yes. Some of them are old enough to do that. And you get that. You have to change magazines. You got to, once a week, you get that one. And we debunked that at SHOT Show 2 years ago or whatever it was, talking to the manufacturers. That's the old steel, the old days.
Yeah.
But you hear that stuff. You hear it a lot.
I actually heard some radio people talking about a news story, and a woman had a firearm concealed in her, lady bits.
Oh, wow.
And they were joking about, if she sneezed, it would go off. And I really had to hold myself back from calling in and correcting them.
Yeah.
You're missing the biggest reason why fatality rate went down. Better medical science.
Well, and we talk about that in the lethal force course, our concealed carry. If we had 70s medicine today, trauma medicine, the murder rate would be 10 times higher than it is. It was actually in the 60s and late 60s and up to mid 70s when that was developed. Vietnam, when they really developed the ability to air mobile and get people and stabilize and all that. Prior to that, the mortality rate, if you were shot, the chances are you were going to die.
Unless, So Chicago police used to tell us if they were shot on the steps of St. Joe's, they'd jump in their squad car and drive to Cook County Hospital, so they know how to treat gunshot wounds.
Yeah.
Well, actually, we laugh about that, but the military, as I understand, sends people there for interns.
Right.
When they send when they send people to medical school
before they deploy.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, because it's one of the murder capitals of the world.
They treat a lot of shotgun wounds.
Yeah, exactly.
I think there's a couple of other reasons. I think one of them is the safety devices that are required to be, at least in Illinois, they're required to be sold or put with new firearms that are purchased. We were talking about that, the different types of locking mechanisms that come on new guns.
You lock your guns?
No, I don't. But they came with locks.
Oh yeah. Okay.
No, I don't. I think the other reason is the best reason, which is Safer USA. I mean, I think not Safer USA specifically, but schools and training classes, safety classes, and more people avail themselves of training that is available.
And there's much more sophisticated training available these days.
Yes.
There really is. Part and parcel to that is we're getting a lot of guys coming back from Iraq and stuff, and they're getting out of the military and they're starting their own schools, and that's cool. But just in general, training aids, the prices, the availability of them has in the past 10, 15 years has hugely increased.
There's a lot more just stuff out there.
So,
I love that computer program that we took to the high school the other day, the LASR. That was really cool.
Yep, it is. It gives you time out of the holster, time between shots, shows you where the shots hit, gives you reload time.
Muzzle tracking.
Yeah, no, it's very cool. That combined with this CERT, and for those of you who've never heard CERT stands for Sight Indicating Resettable Trigger. It's made by a company called Next Level. It's a laser gun, but it's extremely good for training. So we really like that. But yeah, I think some people have called our course, the concealed carry thing, Mythbusters, because people come into that thing with a lot of preconceived notions from television and what their brother-in-law told them or whatever, and find out most of it's just not true.
Right.
It's not true.
Yeah, and we even fielded some questions in the high school the other day. And I generally think of it as, like you said, old timers who have these old ways of thinking and believing about guns and different things surrounding guns, but it's even passed on to these 16, 17-year-olds already.
It is.
I was at the IFI banquet this weekend, and it turned out half the people randomly assigned to our table had carry concealed permits. And the one woman said she's looking for a course to find out how to really use a firearm because she didn't get it from her instructor.
Yeah.
She's just
that's kind of scary.
Yeah. When can I shoot and how do I do it?
Yeah. I've said this before, but we have kind of a top of the line course. When I talk to other people, what do you teach? And I talk about, muscle memory. That's more common, but central nervous system, that kind of stuff, people kind of look at you with that deer in headlights look like they have no idea what you're talking about.
Tennessee versus Garner.
Well,
Garner. Yeah,
you get people who already have carry concealed and they want to audit your course to find out how to really do it.
Yeah. Okay, we're gotta go. You gotta keep talking. We want to, but we gotta go. We're gonna do a few messages. We're gonna come back, wrap the whole thing on up. You're listening to On Target Radio, and this is AM560.
The answer.
Safer Firearm Training is offering beginners classes, tactical pistol and rifle, long-range rifle to 600 yards, and the most comprehensive Illinois concealed carry program available. AM560 On Target Radio co-hosts David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz will prepare you to carry a firearm for personal protection, including firearm, holster, and ammunition selection. A comprehensive law review designed to keep you out of trouble and even how to deal with home invasions. Firearm, ammunition, holster, class notebook, and lunch are provided. Safer USA and the Aurora Sportsman's Club invites you to participate in this one-of-a-kind Illinois concealed carry program that also qualifies you for Florida, Utah, and Arizona non-resident permits. Find out what over 6,000 students already know at saferusa.com or call 877-954-3030. That's 877-954-3030. Safer USA. Choosing to own a firearm is your business. Teaching you to own it responsibly is ours.
There's no better way to bring in customers than with postcards and flyers. You can say a little or say a lot. And these days, if you're looking for the best selection and the best value, the best choice is to go online and do it yourself at Vistaprint.com. In fact, right now at Vistaprint.com, you can get 500 postcards starting at just $24.99. That's right, 500 postcards, $24.99. At Vistaprint.com, you'll find all the right sizes and finishes and an expanded range of paper stocks, so you can go basic or go brilliant. And you can do it all quickly and confidently with easy uploads, quick design tools, complimentary design support, and an absolute guarantee that we stand by everything we sell every time for any reason, or we'll make it right. So make the smart choice, get the best value, visit Vistaprint.com today, and be sure to enter promo code MARKETING so you can get your 500 postcards starting at just $24.99. But hurry, because while this deal is here today, it expires September 30th. So go to Vistaprint.com today and enter promo code MARKETING.
Make sure you get your mic.
AM560 Answer with David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz. Here's David and Gretchen with more interesting conversation on gun control, concealed carry, freedom of speech, and other red meat issues that affect your life.
And we're back with more On Target Radio, and we've got Gretchen's What You Gonna Do for the Week.
Stand by. Here's Gretchen with your action items for the week.
You are invited to attend the Northern Cook County Friends of the NRA annual banquet on Thursday, September 24th at Atlantis Banquets in Arlington Heights. Doors open at 5:30. Dinner is served at 7. You can reserve your place by calling 847-447-1045 or go to friendsofnra.org. Join On Target Radio at the 2015 Zombie Shoot at the Aurora Sportsman's Club on Saturday, September 26th from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. The Aurora Sportsman's Club is at 7641 Rough Road in Waterman, Illinois, west of Sugar Grove. They will let you shoot zombies any way you like, with a pistol, rifle, shotgun, muzzleloader, or bow and arrow. Register online in advance or in person at the event. I put the link on Facebook last week. The following Safer USA classes are all at our office in Waterman. Saturday and Sunday, October 10th and 11th, Illinois Concealed Carry 1. This 16-hour class will be taught by David and Gretchen and meets the training requirements for Illinois Concealed Carry, as well as Florida, Arizona, and Utah. Saturday, October 10th, Long Range Rifle, taught by Ed Janka. Sunday, October 11th, Know Your AR Platform Rifle 1 and 2, taught by Eric. Sunday, October 18th, NRA Basic Pistol Course, taught by David. Saturday, October 24th, Tactical Rifle 1 and 2, taught by Eric. Saturday and Sunday, October 24th and 25th, Illinois Concealed Carry 1, taught by David and Gretchen. To sign up for classes, go to saferusa.com and click on register.
There you go. And that may be the last NRA basic pistol class. They're changing the system. It's going to go online. So if you want to take NRA basic pistol with a real instructor, this may be your last chance. We're doing segment 6 tonight.
Yes, we are. And you can find segment 6 at youtube.com/On Target Radio. And we'll be discussing President Obama ordering behavioral experiments on the American public.
That's a real thrilling prospect, isn't it? I can't imagine our government doing anything surreptitious like that. Edward.
Here's a pithy comment. The candidates are out there circulating their nominating petitions to get on the ballot. The voters ought to start getting on the internet and asking their friends and researching the candidates. Find out what they really were standing for before they decided to run for election. Find out their true colors.
In that vein, our friend Nick said that Trump came out Friday with a Second Amendment paper, in which he says he wants more concealed carry and reciprocity for all states. So we had mentioned that earlier.
Yeah, that's his second position too.
There you go. We may even have a third. And we have in our studio tonight, we are privileged to have Living Sports famous Russ Gangler. Right, Russ, what you got tonight?
Hey guys, thanks for having me on. Tonight we have a professional kickboxer, Richard Abraham, is going to be on the show tonight talking about his big fight next Friday night. So we're going to take some calls and have him on for the first half hour, and then we're going to talk a lot of Bears football in the second half hour.
So is he going to kick Czak? Is he going to get our guy, social media guy?
No,
the Bears coaches.
It wouldn't even be a contest.
No.
Okay. So we're looking forward to
That
that.
would be unfair. Yeah.
If I'll pay him to kick George, though. I'll pay
George
for
is
that.
a street fighter, though.
Well, he may
That's
be,
true.
but that's you got a pro in, right?
Yeah.
George is scrappy.
We're going to do that. Pro makes sense. All right. Well, that's pretty much it. Thank you for listening to On Target Radio, and be sure to listen next week when we'll be covering the red meat issues that affect your life. 2 weeks from now, I think we're going to do a Constitution thing with Nick Ficarello and Craig Buckovic.
We'd also like to thank Ed Ronkowski, George Hoffman on the board, our social media coordinator, Rick Czak, and our sponsors, DS Arms, the Illinois State Rifle Association, the Aurora Sportsman's Club, Stone City Kitchen and Bath Design Center, and Safer USA.
And as always, thanks, Mike, for making it all happen.
We actually got a little more time than we need.
I'm a lover, not a fighter.
I'm a, me too. We can listen to music for 23 seconds.
You can, but I just not. And I was listening.